Are you ready?
Starting now?
Well, now you just messed it up, you knob. God, you know that the shit that we go through for this, huh?
I know. Fuckers better appreciate it. When we started, we were just like, yeah, we're just going to do this, man. You know, shoot our wad into the wind and see what happens. What's the title of this podcast again?
I don't know. I don't know. Something with a penis, I guess.
Right.
Our fucking faces are everywhere now.
Right.
You know, but
You're welcome, ladies.
Right. Popular with the ladies. Right. Oh, I'm not even going to apologize because hopefully it sounds fucking hilarious.
Yeah, totally. This is fucking explicit now.
The explicit button. Let me use my finger.
La, 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 la.
It is time for another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And that episode starts now. All right, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And tonight, we are friends, we're brothers, but on Sunday, it's going to be a podcast divided.
Took me a second. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Oh, yeah. There's some goddamn football game on. Who cares?
No, I know. But it's the only time. It's twice a year when the Lions and the Packers play that at least there's a little bit of I don't want to say rivalry because I don't think either one of us care about the rivalry too much. Not between you and I, you know.
Right.
But I figured out something already. I can't win in that matchup anyhow because a couple of things. Detroit's really good. I mean, I take nothing away from them and blah 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 and all that stuff. But the thing of it is, if the Packers win, I could easily. You just said it. Yeah, it's a football game. What the fuck? Because I could see you saying I'm a baseball guy. I don't care anyhow.
Yeah.
Packers won, so I lose my completely wind out of my sails if they win. But if the Lions win, you could just go at me, and I can't say anything. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to say? You know,
right. I mean, I don't pay that much attention.
Right.
There was, I heard something somewhere on the radio. Somebody was talking about some football shit, and apparently it's going to be a fairly competitive game. So, right.
Yeah.
So there's that. Right. I mean, I know the Lions are decent. They were decent last year, and they're decent this year. And I don't even know if I'm going to be able to see it.
Oh yeah, it's a late game. It's 4. It'd be on whatever it is, a 4:25.
So how much I pay attention. So I don't know if it'll be on here or not. We'll see.
Oh yeah, it will. Because I looked and it's the Fox late game like that, and I think they did it on purpose. I mean, it's a divisional game, and I think with knowing how the Packers and the schedule's been set for a long time, but I think it's a showcase game, and I think it's turning out to be better than what the network thought it would be because what I didn't know is that whoever wins it's going to be first in the division. So there's more implications to the game on top of just being the Lions.
I'm fucking bored already.
I know. It's just I don't know.
You're welcome, listeners.
I think it'll be a good game, and I just think it's funny.
Right.
Twice a year we get to you're a Lions fan when you feel like being a Lions fan.
Right.
So.
Root for the home team, even if it's not the right sport.
Right.
Whatever. Yeah.
So you played hooky today, huh?
I did.
Do tell. That might be more interesting to the listener.
Right. No, I had a complete shit show of a day on Wednesday. And by the end of that day, I was like, you know what? I'm taking fucking Friday off. So I did.
Well, good. Good.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, again, no big deal. I have PTO and I was like, you know what? I'm taking the day off and did. And, I sat here and did shit. I didn't do anything. I kind of planned on doing a couple of things, and I didn't do any of it. I paid a couple bills, so that's click on the phone, and so that was the extent. I worked my thumb out a little bit today.
Well, it's kind of like Peter in Office Space. I did absolutely nothing, and it was everything that I thought it would be. Or so there was. So that's I don't know if that's exactly how the line goes, but that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
sitting around doing nothing. I ended up taking some PTO this week, but I'll get to no, that was last week. That was with the power out. Never mind.
Yeah.
I got a couple of little stories I'll talk about later. But yeah, I had another little snafu here. But hey, it is what it is. But
Right.
yeah, as of tomorrow I'm out of here. Oh, Kathy texted me last night. I don't know, right before I was going to bed. She's like, oh, by the way, she's like, the internet went out. I went to reset the router and the router didn't go back on. She's like, I called the cable company. They couldn't get it back on. She's like, they're coming out on Saturday to try to fix it. And she's like, I already told them it's got to be set by Monday because you got to
Right.
work. And I'm like, that sucks. I'm like, I'm fucking going to bed.
Right.
Because I'm like, I can't even forethink about, or think forward.
Right. Forethink. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's present tense of forethought. Sure, why not? I'll co-sign that bullshit.
Forethink. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But anyhow.
Right.
But you knew what I meant. That's
right.
the worst.
Yeah.
That's
Living
the worst part.
Right, man. Living in the future.
But I'm like, because immediately I'm about to go to bed. I'm like, God, now I'm going to fucking worry about, am I going to be able to work? What am I going to do? Should I book another Airbnb? I mean, it's just, I don't know. It was, then I'm like, fuck it. I don't know. I'll look around, do some stuff. But
right. Go sit in the public library.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, take my whole setup, take my fucking computer in there, find the router, and just sit in the corner. Hi, I'm so and so. Pay your fucking bill, bastards.
Right.
But I did book another trip to Wisconsin, but I'll talk about that a little bit too. That's a nice little thing, and coming up in a couple of weeks. But
cool.
Anyhow, all right. So we bored each other and our listeners with football. You had a great day doing nothing.
Right.
We've got some shit to talk about. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. So
all right.
I got stuff on a list here. I'm up to 2.5 pages now, so I restocked. I restocked the bullshit.
Good.
Yeah. So
somebody's got to do it.
Right. But okay, so your one job every week is to look for a reading. So did you do that today?
Yeah, about fucking 10 minutes ago.
I know. You're sitting around working out your fucking thumb, and then you didn't thumb through a book, right?
Right. But I did. Better late than never. But yeah, again, flipping around, nothing jumped out at me, blah, 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 blah. So I did find one that was kind of all right. It's actually Leap Day, February 29th.
Ooh, the extra one.
Yes, out of God grant me. So, right. Apparently we read it this year and we won't get to read it again for 3 years. So what the fuck, man? We'll read it tonight.
Right.
All right, here we go. Only the educated are free. Epictetus. He was a Greek philosopher. All right. Every one of us gets many chances to continue learning in our lives. We miss many of these chances because we just don't see them. It's very easy to stop learning. We get into habits of doing things the same old way. We stop reading about science or literature or geography or politics. We don't know what's going on in our community. We even eat the same kinds of foods every day. When we stick with what we already know, we stop growing. Our world and our life get very small. We get stuck. We get left behind. We give up our power to be free. When we were using, we couldn't be free. Freedom takes energy, and all of our energy went into feeding our addiction. Now that we are sober, we have energy to pay attention and to learn. We can break out of the little box that we lived in. We can make free choices. Prayer for the day. Higher power, help me to be free today. I will pay attention to new things. I'm paying attention to new things that you are trying to teach me so I can make new choices. Today's action. I will list 3 ways I could be more free if I learned something new. I will talk with my sponsor about what it takes to really be free.
All right. So the last thing, as always, so 3 things that you can list 3 things that you could do what to learn to free?
Right. I will list 3 ways I could be more free if I learned something new.
Okay. So anything right off the top of your head with that? First of all, I like this whole thing about, the freedom and the learning, and I wrote down a bunch of different things on there,
Right.
but can you think of anything off the top of your head that that you could be more free by learning things? Or
yeah, but I don't know them, so I can't put them in
Right.
words. No. Yeah, right. I mean, I read this one, whatever, like I said, 10 minutes ago, and I went, shit, because I'm very guilty of this, I mean, I certainly try to be open and try to, keep my eyes and ears and mind open to learn new things. But I am very much, again, that balance thing, creature of habit, and have to be in certain things. But I've got to make sure that I don't get too stuck in a rut. And, frankly, I am a lot of the times. I do the same shit because I want the same results, but I have to remember that, I want more results. I really do. Again, that addict in me still wants more. And I have to transfer that into I want more freedom. I want more choices. I want more education. I want to know more things. But again, it's work, and I'm guilty of not doing it a lot of the time. So yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, ways I could be more free by learning something new. Again, I don't know what I don't know, so I can't. I wish I did. If I knew them, then
Right.
I wouldn't need to know them because I'd already know them. I wouldn't need to learn them. Right? Yeah, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I know what that's why I had to read that over because it didn't,
Right.
even though it was like, 30 seconds that by the time
Uh-huh.
I asked the question, I'm just like, it didn't stick, and it sure as fuck didn't click because,
Right.
I was kind of thinking the same thing as you were talking about and I agree with everything you said. I mean, from creature of habit, so am I. Even
Mm-hmm.
down to the point I was laughing when, it said like, even down to the point of eating the same foods and
Uh-huh.
doing, I'm like, Jesus
I
Christ. I
did
mean,
think of you.
well, and there's two reasons why I do that. Number one is because it's a matter of ease,
Hmm.
and ease and convenience.
Right.
I do like to cook. When Dawn and I were together, and she cooks a lot now, from what I understand, and she
Hmm.
has over the years. But she didn't, I think she grew into enjoying it. Those were her words. She didn't
Sure.
enjoy cooking as much
Right.
as she does now, I think, when we were
Hmm.
together, but I
Right.
did. So I would try recipes. I go online, and
Hmm.
you could do, we want chicken, we want broccoli, and we want cream of mushroom soup. What can you make? And you get all these recipes.
Sure.
And we would try stuff like that. But I was working at home. I had a little bit more flexibility than I do now, and I had the time and whatever. So I did it.
Hmm.
But now it's like when I get done working, and it doesn't matter when it's been over the last, I don't know, since I've been sober.
Hmm.
I do what I do. I'm fucking hungry. I want to eat,
Right.
and I want to get on with whatever it is that I'm doing. Even if
Hmm.
it's just sitting on my ass.
Right.
Um, but so yeah. But the other thing is, it's I try to make conscious and healthy choices.
Right.
I could easily go to a different fast food restaurant
Oh
every
yeah.
night and eat whatever I wanted. But that's one thing. So, but yeah, it's laziness, it's
Hmm.
cheapness.
Hmm.
Because I'm like, well, I'm not going to buy that. It's too fucking expensive.
Right.
I'd really like that,
Hmm.
but I don't know. So yeah, part of that, but it's a creature of habit thing. But the other thing that I thought about where you were reading that is the biggest thing that got my mind expanding over the last few years
Hmm.
was listening to podcasts.
Right.
And not just sobriety podcasts, but
Hmm.
some of these other ones I'm listening to. Marc Maron. I want to mention a couple of things about him, but I mean the guests he has, the Smartless people, all these people.
Right.
But I mean, up until right before we started doing this, I didn't know what alcohol free was. I mean, I'd
Hmm.
never heard the term before. I didn't know what gray
Right.
area drinking was. I didn't know any of this shit. Sober curious. I'm like, what the fuck is all this stuff? And it opened up my mind, and we've had people come on here that have talked about it, so we've learned more.
Hmm.
You and I have
Sure.
talked about it, so we've learned more.
Right.
Which interests me. But yeah, when it comes down to the biggest thing that you said that I 100% and fully agree with is we need to be creatures of habit. There's certain things
Hmm.
that, to if we changed, it would be to our detriment.
Right.
The things
Absolutely.
that we do daily for our sobriety. So yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, like like you said, if I knew what I needed to do to be free,
Freer.
I'd freer. Yeah, I
Right.
would I would be doing it. Yeah, I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
I have no
exactly.
idea, but
Yeah, but again, like the spiritual shit and all that, I have to have an open mind. I can't, and I'm totally blanking on the quote from the back of the big book, but yeah, the quickest way to whatever is to fucking shut your mind down. That's the quote, right?
Right. Yeah, word for word, I remember that. I do.
Exactly. Uh-huh. But yes, right. So I have to keep an open mind and be willing to, say I don't know everything and willing to learn new things. And that I think that's enough, to be open to new freedoms and new happiness and new whatever things that I don't know yet. Because if I knew them, then hopefully I'd be doing them.
Well, and the other thing too is that I think that both of us can honestly say, and I'll speak for you here for a second, is that
Mhm.
I think that both of us are open to learning new things.
Sure.
I think there was a point, not even think, I know there was a point in early sobriety
Hmm.
that I had no desire to learn anything more than what I was learning as far as sobriety. I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
here's the road I'm on. I got my blinders on. I'm doing this.
Right.
I don't need to learn anything else. I'm doing this,
Hmm.
I'm taking in the information that these good guys are putting in front of me,
Right.
and I don't need to know about, if I would have heard about fucking gray areas and sober curiouses and whatever, I'd be like, fuck you. This is my path. I don't even need to hear any of that.
Right. Well, I
So
mean, at that point, we'd have went, "Oh, that sounds like a good idea. I'll try a little gray area drinking."
yeah, that's God,
Right.
that's another
It's,
goddamn good point.
it's a
Yeah, that
good thing
that
we
could have
didn't
been.
get to have those choices. Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
could have that could
I
have been a
think
string of excuses for us.
right. Oh, it could have, would have.
Right,
Right. And I mean, as you were saying that, it was like, well, shit. We weren't open to as much, but we were fucking pretty goddamn open because we're learning all kinds of new stuff on a daily
right,
basis, on a momentary basis.
right.
So, I mean, there's only so much you could take in at once. And we were taking in a hell of a lot, a whole new way of life. So, yeah, I mean, as you were saying that, I was like, nah, we were pretty open to shit. We were just focused on the stuff that was given to us because we had to be. We couldn't go off looking for other ways, especially not our way. We knew that too. So I mean, it was kind of a survival mode for me to just focus on what those guys were telling us because apparently, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years sober and fucking hey man, you bet your ass I'm listening to them because I got, 3 days and don't know
Yeah,
how I have that.
right. And that's a great point. I guess maybe I wasn't. Well, I wasn't. I guess I wasn't giving myself or
Mm,
maybe us, the credit. I don't want to say
mm,
credit we deserve, but
right.
giving us the credit of being open like that.
Right.
Because when we walked in there, I mean, we had, you figure that. I mean, both of us were in our early 40s.
Right.
It doesn't matter when we started our hardcore whatever drinking. Throw 20 years under each of us,
Hmm.
of problematic drinking, if nothing else.
No, yeah.
To where at the end was major, completely raging alcoholic
Hmm.
drinking, and using in your case, but
Sure.
so to yeah, to walk in there and be like, no, 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 you're over here, and I know that, but I'm just gonna lift you up gently, and I can put you over here. I
Uh-huh.
got to walk this other path, and this
Right.
this is the way to go,
Hmm.
and yeah, I mean, I guess, I mean, not even guess, we had to be open minded about that,
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, clearly from our history, we could have sat there and went, fuck you, you're all full of shit. I'm not doing any of this.
right.
Thankfully we didn't.
Yeah, and that I know I've said it before, and I don't think this is going to surprise anyone that hasn't heard it. But yeah, I mean, I didn't want to hear anything from anyone. I don't know. Well, I do. There had to be deep down inside of me, even though I was angry, I was pissy, and I didn't
Hmm.
want to be there and all that stuff. And my outward actions didn't necessarily say what was ultimately inside of me, but there
Hmm.
had to be, that little bit of willingness, that little bit of hope for me to
Right.
stick around
That's
and
just
literally
all it
not,
takes.
yeah, and not fight those, the people that were telling me. I
Hmm.
never ever wanted to be told what to do. I never want to listen
Right.
to anyone. I never
Mm.
wanted to take direction. I never wanted any of that shit. And for whatever reason, at that time, I
Hmm.
just, even if I just had to, for a while, 9 months, as I did,
Right.
go through the motions,
Hmm.
it kept me around long enough to figure some of this shit out.
Right. Yeah.
Or at least have some of it make sense.
Right. Exactly. Actually hear it and go, oh yeah, right. Makes sense. That makes sense.
Right.
Right.
Well,
Apparently
one of the
my
things,
way wasn't working.
imagine that, as Marty would say, right? But it's one of the things two things I wrote down, the same old way and doing the same old things, and
Mm-hmm.
that's, it's a definition of insanity,
Right.
expecting different results
Right.
and, realizing that, that we got negative, knowing we got negative results. We're like, no, I'm going to do this again.
Right, exactly. Well, I mean, and that's, as you were saying that, it was like, yeah, man, that's, the routines that we do have and the things that we won't change. We are expecting the same results. So it's
Right.
not insanity. We want the results that we get from doing these things. And so, right, exactly. Staying sober, not hurting the people around us.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what a difference though is to to keep doing the same thing over and over again, but
Mm-hmm.
getting positive results the same
Right.
every day.
Yep.
Yeah, and again, imagine that we keep doing these things every fucking day, and guess what? We're sitting here on a Friday night, 14 and a half years later, and it's slightly wonderful. Life isn't always perfect, but
Mm-hmm.
I'd say life's pretty goddamn good.
Yes,
Every
much better.
Right. I mean, I got a couple of things. I had a story about my pizza and had some shit with work this week,
Mm.
whatever. But, again, all of these things are in the same thing. Like I said, when, and, literally right before I'm just about to, I was looking at my phone to make sure my alarm was set when I got Kathy's text. So I'm
Mm.
literally about to lay my head down. And I'm like, I may not be able to fucking
Mm.
work on Monday was the first thought in my head,
All
but I'm
right.
like, what am I going to do? And I said to myself, because nobody's here to fucking hear it.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and fucking dwell on this. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. What do you get? Right. First of all, it's fucking 3 days away,
I know.
and
I
second
know.
of all, yeah, right. It may be nothing. Why?
Right.
Hopefully, we've learned. If we haven't learned anything, we've learned that sitting there and worrying about something that hasn't happened yet is kind of a waste of fucking time.
I know, but it's so fucking hilarious to me. It's almost ridiculous to me, knowing that again, I just said 14 and a half years later, I still
Nope.
have that. The default is there, but
Yeah.
we've already talked about that. It doesn't surprise me that I go into this,
Mm.
what the fuck am I going to do mode,
Uh-huh.
because that's my nature. I've got to get my ass up, and do whatever. But the only thing I thought about realistically today is, okay, what's the backup? And I've got a couple ideas on what a
Sure.
backup would be, but it wouldn't be. It'd be more work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cost a little bit of money to go find a fucking Airbnb and whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
I can have a backup. I can have a backup plan. It can work
Right.
with whatever, But it just yeah, it's that fucking default setting. It's stupid. But I just wrote down 3 words towards the end of it. It just be free today. And I
Yeah.
don't remember how it was in context or anything like that, but that as I'm scribbling stuff and you said, I'm like, oh yeah, be free today. I
Nope.
mean, that's a wonderful statement. That's a motto. I want to tell myself that every fucking
Yeah.
day, regardless of what goes on. I mean, I am free. I'm free to make choices today. Hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
they're all good. No,
Mm.
hopefully, most of them are good
Right,
ones.
exactly. Yeah, let's not set our expectations too high.
I caught myself
Yes, right,
immediately,
right.
immediately, because again, that's so stupid. The shit comes out of my mouth, and I mean, it's just funny. That's a funny part, and that's one of the things there's many things I enjoy about doing this podcast,
Mhm.
but I mean, the fact that I think I know it's taught me to catch myself immediately,
Right.
because as I'm saying it, I'll say
You're
something.
hearing it.
Yeah, and then I'll say something stupid, and I'll either hear from you like, then I'm
Mhm.
like, God damn it. That's like the gong or something like that from the Gong Show. It's like, or bzzzt,
Right.
somebody just fucking shot me. I'm like, yeah, I got it. I heard it. I heard what I just said. But then again, realizing that, these aren't just thoughts in my head. These could be going out to a handful of people that,
Mhm.
we want to make sure that at least we're trying to pass along factual information, if nothing else.
Right.
Doesn't have to be the great information, but
Ah,
it's
right.
true
It's
from the
honest
heart.
and whatever. Exactly.
So, question about the February 29th, though, and like
Yeah.
you said, we just read it. We'll read it for 3 years. Do you read February 29th every year?
No.
I do.
Oh, do
I
you?
do.
All right.
Yeah.
No, I skip over it because it's not today. It's it's
Yeah.
living in the now, man. So, oh no, it's not February 29th. It's March 1st.
And I think I started it. I may have just started doing that since we've been doing this
Ah,
since I busted myself out for not reading the actions.
uh-huh.
I'm like, oh, there's another reading. I got an extra 4 minutes.
Mm,
Just gonna read this, and what? Maybe, oh gosh, I'm gonna put more good thoughts in my head.
yeah,
Ooh,
right. Yeah, I mean,
but
it's nice, but yeah, right. I don't. Again, right. I probably, keeping myself from some knowledge. There you go. But yeah, I'll get to it in 3 years. Yeah,
right.
again, it's the living in the now. It's today is February 28th. Today is March 1st. And it is not February 29th. So that's not what I'm going to read today.
Yeah, and seriously, I just thought as I was saying, I literally think I just started doing it over the last couple of years, and I don't know what got in my head about it. Probably was the fact that I wasn't reading the actions, but I don't know. I'm like, yeah, little reading here or there. But there's
Hmm.
times too when I'll pull if one of the again four things that I read in the morning
Hmm.
don't really again like you always say don't jump out at you or whatever.
Right.
Whatever I'll post that day, sometimes I'll scroll back in my pictures,
Hmm.
because I've screenshot all these fucking things.
Right.
I just scroll back and find one that I liked from 6 months ago and repost that.
Ah,
So sometimes I'll give myself an extra reading just because I
right.
I couldn't find something fresh that it didn't hit me the
Yeah.
right way that
Right.
day. So
Yeah. Cool.
yeah, I don't know, but hey, it's November already. It's fucking gratitude month, so I'm
Oh
going to be
yeah.
grateful. Got to be
Mhm.
grateful for something.
All right. If I have to.
Yeah, straighten up and be grateful. But all right, so anything else with the reading? I liked it.
Yeah,
Once again, I think I always say that, but anything else that we hit it all or
I think we covered it.
okay? So, a couple of quick things. So I saw your fucking pictures on Facebook
Ah,
with your trick or treating. So you actually had people obviously kicking around. I would guess there's kids in your neighborhood.
yeah.
So you got certain number of people last night.
Yeah, I had about a dozen or so groups of kids, 3 or 4 in each group. So yeah, I had a nice little turnout last night. It was warm, it was windy as hell, and they were calling for rain, but we didn't have any till like way later. So yeah, it was warm. It was like low 70s.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah. Like I said, it was windy as hell, but other than that, it was a really nice night. So yeah, I went and sat on my porch for a couple hours with a bowl of candy next to me and didn't eat all of it myself because I taught somewhere to share. Uh,
Right.
yeah, it was nice. Like I said, and there's not a lot of kids in the neighborhood. I mean, there are in the neighborhood, but I live on a kind of a short block, and not. I think there was maybe 2 other houses on my block that were giving out candy that I could see. So not a big one for the kids to hit, but I had a few groups come down and yeah, gave the kids candy and said trick or treat and happy Halloween, and had a couple parents thank me for being out, and I said, yeah, of course, man, it's part of the deal.
Right.
Homeowner, part of the community, blah blah blah, upstanding citizen.
Yeah, and we used to when the kids were little, it would I'm trying to think if because we lived in Menominee Falls and Dawn's parents lived in Sussex, which was I don't know 20 minutes away from us,
Hmm.
and I don't remember if they had it may have been on two different days if I remember correctly. So I think we used to hit both of them. I know we used to take the kids over by her mom and dad and stuff like that, and we'd all go out. It was in Dawn's neighbor or in her parents' neighborhood there was a lot of the families. I mean, her mom and dad had lived there for like fucking 30 years or something like that,
Right,
so they knew everyone.
right,
And that was a neighborhood where yeah, we take a wagon. Sometimes the kids would be in there, but if not, there was booze in the fucking
uh-huh,
wagon. And same thing. You're running around, people are drinking. Obviously adults are all drinking. Hey, I was going
right,
through, and um, Don's dad used to hang back because he was the one, and still, I mean, obviously on his canes and stuff like that, so he could walk around. But he'd hang out, and watch the can or do the candy and stuff like
right.
that. But in our neighborhood, I think the same thing. Either we took turns or one of us hung back or whatever. And
Hmm.
again, we're in a neighborhood where again a decent enough amount of kids, but
Sure.
yeah. And I mean, I heard the same thing they were talking about on the radio. I guess it was really warm in Milwaukee. It was warm here yesterday,
Hmm.
but there was and I thought about it. I'm like if I was a kid, first of all, there's only once you come around this corner to go up this hill coming up where I am,
Hmm.
there's one, two, three. I'm like the third house where I'm staying. One more beyond me. I don't know what's up the road from that, but you might get 6 houses or something.
Right.
And it's a lot of fucking work to walk up.
Yeah.
And I posted a picture last night because I walked outside. It was like 7:30, and it went from like 6 until 8. I mean, it's dark as fuck.
Hmm.
And I'm like, if I was a little kid, man, I'm like, I ain't fucking walking up there. There's no goddamn way. But on
Right.
top of that, too, you have to fucking haul your ass up, these driveways to get to these fucking houses. It wouldn't be
Right.
worth it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah. And so
Right.
like your neighbor is perfect for trick or treating.
Hmm. Yeah, but like I said, man, mine and I think there was 2 other houses up the block that were doing candy. I mean, a lot of people don't do it anymore. Yeah, there's older people here and stuff too, so they're rah, kids. Rah. I did my time. Okay, fuck you
Right.
too. Right, and it's clearly not the same as it was when we were kids. Speaking of being
Right.
old, sounding old, being old, it's not this when I was a boy. Um, and I'm sitting on my porch last night going, fuck, man. I mean, when I was a kid, every house was lit up and everybody was giving out candy and there was tons of kids everywhere and it was
Mhm.
different. Now they
It
do the
was. Yeah.
trunk or treat and shit and all that. And, they do stuff if they do it on Saturday before. Lots of people, that's when they celebrate, not on the day anymore and whatever,
Right.
But I'm going to do what I can to keep the little tradition alive. And it's nice having the little kids come up and be happy to get a little piece of candy. So what the fuck?
Right.
Oh,
Well, and that's the thing.
speaking
I
of
mean, if
which,
I
though,
was in
goddamn candy is fucking expensive this year. Dude.
you know what? I guess it doesn't surprise me, but really how much was a bag of candy? Just curiosity.
I mean, I got 3 bags of, mini ones, not the little itty bitty tiny ones, but the regular fun size. And
Right.
I got 3 bags. It was like fucking $30, man.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, yeah. So each bag I think had like 35 mini pieces of candy in it. So yeah, it was it was fucking expensive.
Yeah, that's a lot. When
Yeah.
I bought a couple of big bags of candy from Amazon, I think when we went to that retreat last year,
Mm,
and some of them were just really expensive, but I ended up getting a good deal on it. But I mean, I'll buy Heath bars. I'll get a big bag of Heath bars at like Walmart for $6 or $7.
right.
But I mean, I don't know how that compares to regular. I haven't bought bags of regular candy in a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know, since when I was in the office in Milwaukee, we used to everyone would take turns buying a bag of candy. We have
Mm-hmm.
this. We actually had a trick or treat, this fucking plastic pumpkin with candy in it all year round. That was
Right.
on either my desk or James, our other collection manager. So, but yeah, I think it was probably eight or $9 for a bag of, yeah, I suppose even at that
Yeah.
time. But
Right. I
yeah,
don't
kind of
know. It
crazy.
was just right. I mean, because I think last year I spent about the same amount of money, but I had way more fucking candy. So,
Right.
yep. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Everyone's bitching about the. I mean, me included. I mean, cost
Mm-hmm.
of this and cost of that. So
Right.
we'll see if Tuesday changes anything.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think anything's gonna
Probably
fucking
not.
change. Yeah,
No.
no, it's gonna be the same old shitty, just a different fucking face in there at some
Yep.
point. So, but curiosity was because I actually wrote this down because I think about it last night.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how old? Well, two things. How old were you when you stopped trick or treating? And was there like a? I was thinking of like a costumes and stuff like that. What did you used to dress up as when you were a kid? Anything in
Yeah.
particular?
I mean, I was Alice Cooper a couple of times. Shocker.
There you
Uh
really? That's fucking awesome.
yeah. Uh did when we were kids, the plastic masks with the plastic
Right.
fucking
You're
uniform
fucking
thing. Yeah.
terrible.
Awful. Right. I think I was Spider-Man. I think I was Frankenstein. As I got a little older, I know I was Groucho one year. I think the last time I went out, I was about 14, and yeah, I think I just like put on an army jacket and tied a bandana around my head and said I was a hippie or some shit, right? Because you're
Right.
14 and just wanted some fucking candy they didn't have to pay for.
Right. Yeah, and it's God, I was thinking about the plastic masks. I mean, because yeah, you see obviously this time of year all the memes and stuff like that. I have no idea what I dressed up as, but yeah, literally they're this fucking plastic outfit. It's
Mm-hmm.
just it was like a tablecloth you were wearing that was put into a
Right.
into a costume, and yeah, literally this plastic mask that you just fucking steamed up and could
Yep.
barely see out of.
Right. Little sharp edges around your eyes. And
Oh
yeah.
God, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember what year I started doing it, but I would my I think it was God, would have been after I think it was after my grandpa died. My dad's dad died, and
Mm-hmm.
he died when I was God, he died in 70. I might have been 8 years old, seven,
Mm-hmm.
8 years old. And then my dad gave me his old, he had this fedora type of hat.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave me that, and I don't know if it was for Halloween, but I just dressed up, fucking take charcoal, put it on my face, get an old shirt, some old ripped up jeans, and I
Right.
was a fucking hobo, and
Ah,
yeah, and
practicing for.
yeah, and I thought about that when I wrote this down. I'm like, isn't that like fucking funny? Because that's what you call me now.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I was. Well, I mean, at that time, I probably said I was a bum, because
Right.
that was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one year when we were still living in Parma, and
I'm
I
a
had a
homeless alcoholic.
yeah, that would have been a great outfit, right? But I had this. First of all, I had my candy. I had a pillowcase that I was
Sure.
got for candy, and then mom had bought me this. It was a real cigar, but it was like this big oversized cigar, like I'm going to be a hobo or a bum or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. It's a fucking cigar. So I had this goddamn cigar. I had got tired of holding it. It was in my bag. These older kids ran by and grabbed my candy. I'm trying to hold on to the pillowcase. The top of the pillowcase ripped off,
Mm.
and they stole all my fucking candy. I was pissed. I think I
Mm.
was crying too. I'm sure
Sure.
because I mean, we moved out of there when I was again 7 or 8, so I was probably
Uh-huh.
6, 7 years old. But yeah, these motherfuckers, I had to go back home. Then they stole the cigar too. Get a new pillowcase and try to fucking make up for lost time. But
Mm.
the last time I know that when we moved to Wisconsin, and I remember this, kids were out trick or treating. Larry and I were finishing up building the shed, so it's like end of October, cold as fuck. It was snowing a little bit, light flurries,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I would have been 13
All
at
right.
that time. So would have been the last time I went. Would have been in Pittsburgh when I was 12. You know.
Right.
But yeah, after that, I don't know. I think friends of me, I might have gone out and fucked around with my friends when I was like 16 or 17 at
Yeah.
one point. We probably hit a neighborhood and just walked up to people's doors. They probably told us to get the fuck out or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it
Yeah.
just
Well, shit. By the time I was 16, it was Halloween. I was out drinking.
right. But no, the fucking Alice Cooper thing at Groucho, and I mean
Mm-hmm.
you were creative. I'm
Yeah.
like I put fucking charcoal and a hat on. I mean, I think. Oh, you know what? Mom gave me. I might have been one of Grandma Jay's wigs. I had a wig like this wig on too, like this black wig.
Uh-huh.
So I had like puffy hair and this fucking hat on, and just I don't know, it's fucking stupid. But it was one of those things where I could actually dress up warm underneath because I think I don't know, probably one of Grandpa's flannel shirts or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I could put it over my jacket or whatever if I wanted
Right.
to. So it was a perfect fucking outfit for that.
Right.
But yeah, I had no creativity whatsoever. So it's kind of like when I was drinking. I wasn't a special type of alcoholic. I was just kind of like, eh. I I need to get some booze, and I'm a kid, and I'm like, I need to
Right.
get some candy.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah, but no, that's kind of fun though. I'm glad you got a decent number of people. So
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was nice.
Well, cool. But all right. So one thing, real quick, and then actually before heard a thing on the morning show.
Mm-hmm.
Top 10 states that let me see how it is. Oh, top 10 states that drink the most alcohol per capita.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
so it caught my ear,
Sure.
of course. So let me open this up. So what do you think? And first of all, I'll give you kind of a hint. They put it in. They do it in gallons, average of gallons per person, which was fucking weird to me.
Is
Okay.
it?
I guess it is. To me when I first thought about it, but I guess now that you mentioned it, maybe it's not.
To really think about it.
So there was two different things. They were talking about the top 10 states of, the most alcohol consumed, and
Uh-huh.
not on this list, but like California and Texas were like 1 and 2, but they're the biggest states, right?
Sure.
So then I saw the other one about the per capita thing. Well, that makes sense. Let's do it, per person.
Yeah,
Then
right.
it's based on states. So who do you think the number one most gallons on average per person?
I mean, my first guess would be Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is number 8.
Ah, really? That low?
I was surprised. I was
Yes,
surprised.
right. I mean, okay, then we're gonna go for, I mean, like Alaska or North Dakota or something like that.
So New Hampshire.
Really?
Okay, New Hampshire,
New Hampshire,
Vermont, New
Vermont.
Vermont, and then Montana.
Ah, okay. Well, they're the Montanas. That's yeah. But really, wow, New Hampshire. I mean, they are, they're pretty sparsely populated.
Right,
Not a lot to do, I guess. But again, that's where I was thinking the Alaska, North Dakota. Again, yeah, Montana makes sense.
right.
But wow.
North Dakota's 4,
Uh huh.
Nevada 5, then Maine,
Uh,
Delaware, Wisconsin 8, Hawaii, and Pennsylvania. Okay.
wow.
I know it just this list. I was just kind of I was doing the same thing. I'm like, really? But
Hmm.
so in the top, New Hampshire is 59.5 gallons.
Nice.
This is per year. Okay, so
Yeah.
start doing the math a little bit because I already did. All right.
Okay.
And if I remember correctly, so 59 gallons divided
Well,
by, because in a gallon, 120
I was just
ounces.
going, so like little over a gallon a week.
Right.
Yeah.
Which averages out, if I did the math correctly, to like 2 beers a day.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, beers.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Ounces.
Couple.
Okay. So,
Yeah. Right. 12 ounces. So yeah. All right.
but then I'm like, well,
Well, yeah.
I'm like, okay, so it does say, I mean, this is, alcohol consumption per capita. I know it's based on averages.
Hmm.
There's the people who, certain number of people that never drink at all. And there's
Sure.
people like us that drink everything.
Right.
Um, I can't even, I didn't go backwards and figure out how many gallons I was drinking per
Mm.
year. But I mean, I don't know, dozen beers, throwing some
Oh,
shots in
yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Right. A
there's, you
day.
start,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's like taking this 60 and like quadrupling at a minimum,
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah. So figure what? 300 gallons a year.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not even, I don't even think that's, I don't even think that is not an exaggeration
No.
for the end of what I know I was
Oh,
doing.
yeah. Oh, definitely. Right.
And I'm like, wow, because when I first looked at it, I'm like, God damn, 60 gallons. That's a lot of fun. And then I start doing the math.
Oh,
I'm like,
that's
wow,
not really that much.
that's fucking nothing.
Right.
Fucking nothing. But again, what did you say that by a certain point you drank all of everyone's and some of theirs and yours and
Oh, right. Yeah. My lifetime supply. Right. Yeah.
there you
Right.
go.
I drank my lifetime supply by the time I was 24 and I didn't get sober till I was 42. So, right. I took somebody else's share.
Yeah, I know. It was just I don't know. It kind of blew my mind because again the states were a little bit weird, but then the again the amount, and I'm like, fuck, man, I don't know. I don't know if I should be proud of that or just be like, God damn, I'm grateful. I'm still alive.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, definitely grateful and definitely a little proud.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
you fucking amateurs on average, we're like 3 to 4 times.
Yep.
And guess what? We lived to fucking tell about it too. Had a great time
Hmm.
at certain points.
Yeah,
At
right.
certain points.
Sometimes we had some really fucking awful times.
Yeah, yeah, that is a true statement. All right. So on that note, Mike, what do you think?
Uh-huh.
Shall we?
We'll be back with more math problems right after these words from our sponsor.
Hey everyone, it's your friends at Sober Not Mature.
Hi
And
there.
yes, it's both of your friends this time. Hi Mike, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Bill?
I am doing well, but we do have a purpose. We actually usually talk about our one website, but we actually have 2 websites now. So we wanted 2 websites in one. All right, so everyone knows we still have the podcast website that is www.SoberNotMature.com. And we just launched the store website, so we also have that. Do you know what the website address is on that one, Mike?
Of course I don't.
It's pretty easy, Mike. It's www.SoberNotMatureShop.com.
Ah.
But from the podcast website, you can still hit the store link and get into the web store, or you can
Right.
access it from our Instagram page through the highlights. We've been posting quite a bit about it, and we'll continue to do that. But do you know what's on the second website, Mike?
Well, there's a store. There are products that you can purchase for you and your loved ones.
Well, Mike, do we still have merchandise?
We have merchandise. Well, we got T-shirts and coffee mugs and all kinds of crap.
And one of the coolest parts, we also do have all the recovery books from Hazelden, which is kind of a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Yeah, at least for us. So all the books that we read, God Grant Me, 24 Hours, the Big Book, the 12 and 12, all of those books are available for sale on our website. And once again, that store website is www.sober.
Trying to help, man.
I know you are. You're not helping, though. Okay, now I got to say www.SoberNotMatureShop.com. .com. Visit that today, or visit the podcast website, which is, again, the podcast website. So
www.SoberNotMature.com.
Did you just say sober but not mature?
Yeah, sure. Write that down.
Yeah, like fucking mush mouth or something. All right, everyone. You've suffered enough with this, and we'll get back to what we were talking about previously. So visit the websites, though. All right, everyone. Welcome back. And I think I'm done with math for the night. So
all right. Well, okay. So Johnny has 3 beers and Billy has 14 beers.
that reminds me of the meme that I just posted it not too long ago, where the guy's like, "Okay, you got this beer, and you got 10, and you take 2 away." And he goes, "What do you have left?" And he goes, "It's like, you think you have a drinking problem."
Right.
Yeah. He's like, "No, that's not the point." He's like, "I still think you should seek counseling."
Right. Really need to talk to somebody.
So okay, just a couple of real quick things here. So, I told you, if you joined us last week, I lost power for 3.5 hours, and that is what it is. So I'm sitting here on Wednesday, and I always turn my computer on like a half hour before. I do it on purpose ever since I've ever worked remote. Make sure everything fires up. There's no updates, anything like that. I'm just being a responsible employee, right? I don't log in. I can't, like I used to be able to before, kind of catch up on some work. I can't clock in until like 4 minutes before, because it rolls for all that stuff.
Sure.
So get everything all set, and I sit down. And again, the radio show I'm listening through my phone, and all of a sudden it stops, and I look at my phone. I'm trying to do whatever, because you listen to the TuneIn app, right? Every once in a while, it'll glitch,
Okay, I actually don't use that one. I use iHeart, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought you used TuneIn every once in a while. Okay. But anyhow, so it'll glitch every once in a while, and just for whatever reason, so I'll end up having to go to their website and listen live through there. But nothing's working, and all of a sudden I realize I get this pop up on my phone. It's like, "Oh, you're not connected to Wi-Fi," and I look at my computer, and I'm down now to like 3 minutes before I'm supposed to clock in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then I see the internet thing go out. So I got my Ethernet cable plugged in, that goes out. So I go out real quick and I reset the modem and the router, and I'm like, okay, something, whatever, comes back up, nothing. And I clock in from my phone, which I never do, because I'm like, hopefully this shit just comes back up. Because I'm thinking back, I'm like, I was just down for fucking 3.5 hours last week,
Right.
So as I'm sitting here, nothing's working, and I restart, but I text my boss. I'm like, "Yeah, my internet glitched." I'm like, "It was fine, but I'm restarting my browser." So I messaged the guy, and I'm like, "Hey, did you get any notifications?" Because Kathy will every once in a while if her internet goes out.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't hear from them. It's like 5 minutes. I'm like, fuck it. Sometimes through the app, you can actually call the host. Their phone number's hooked in. You can click, and runs through them. So at this point, then this thing pops up on my web browser, and it says, "Oh, you're getting this screen because of one of these 3 reasons. Either your account just went on vacation, which people do. You're signed up for video only, or you need to make a payment." And it's highlighted on, "You need to make a payment." Okay. And I'm like, fucking kidding me? So I call the guy. The guy's name's Joel, and I'm like, "Yeah, this bill, that's road property, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Did you get any notifications to get my message?" "No." I said, "The internet went out," and I said, "This thing just popped up here." And he's like, "Oh," he goes, "Well, let me give me a couple of minutes. I'll take a look at it." He goes, "Maybe I just need to pay the bill." And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And he goes, I'll check on it right away and I'll let you know. I said, please. Cause I said, I'm obviously this is affecting my work,
Yeah.
So, I'm just sitting here and I'm waiting. Finally, he fucking messaged me back and he's like, oh yeah, they had an old card on file.
Uh-huh.
So they did, they fucking shut off the internet,
Right. Yeah.
And, now two things. I'm like, okay, if you're on automatic payments, and there are some things that I'm on automatic payments with,
Sure.
like and I've had it happen. Either I've switched cards because I've got these rewards cards. I try to flip things around,
Mm-hmm.
and cards I don't use and whatever.
Right.
So I've had something in recently in the last probably year. It'll pop up and say, "Hey, your payment failed.
Right.
Check your payment option." They
Mm-hmm.
don't shut me down,
Right.
on anything I have.
Yeah. Right.
It's not immediate. So finally, I mean, it's all said and done. It's 25 fucking minutes, and because the guy's like, "Oh," he goes, "Yeah, they said it should be up shortly," and I said, "I hope so." I said, "This is affecting my job,"
Right.
and I'm just like, again, I'm sitting here, and I'm trying not to. I was pissed,
Mm-hmm.
clearly, because okay, here's the deal, and I mean, I don't know if you're a little fucking, I don't know, whatever you are, absent-minded, let's say,
Sure.
you don't have things set up, or maybe you just don't feel like paying your bills. If you're a fucking Airbnb host, should you at least make sure those bills are paid?
Right.
And then I'm like, oh God, did he not pay the? And then I'm like, no, it was all in the area, so that wasn't a matter of him not paying that bill.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, are you? There was such I. It never occurred to me. So do I need to ask hosts from now on? By the way, do you pay your internet bill on time? I don't think that's sarcasm,
Right.
um, but again, fucking 25 minutes, I'm fucking internet's down. I'm like, you fucking knob,
Yeah.
So it was
Exactly.
just
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, man. I was thinking it. I mean, I have very little on automatic payment just because I like to be in control. Imagine that an alcoholic has control issues. Um,
right.
but I do have a couple things. But I mean, literally, like to my car insurance and my the float thing because they make you do that automatically. But
Right.
everything else is I pay it myself. And I about maybe 3 years ago, I thought I had paid my cable bill and didn't. And I mean, it was probably 2 weeks overdue. And I was gonna buy a movie, which I don't do very often, or rent a movie. I don't very often, but I was like, there's nothing on. I feel like watching this. So I went to, click, and it went, you can't because your fucking bill's in arrear. And I went, what? Really? But okay, so it was 2 weeks and my internet was working, my cable was working, it was all working. I just had forgotten to pay it. I thought I had and didn't, and went to do something I don't normally do and went, oh shit, and immediately went and paid my bill, and it was all fine. But yeah, right. So I mean, it happens. I understand it. Once in 11, 12 years, I was late. I thought I paid it and didn't. But yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, they don't these places, they don't want to shut your service down. They
No,
don't.
right.
And they will give you time. They'll notify you. They'll do this and they'll pop,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
I mean,
So
shit,
yeah,
most of them don't even. I mean, like my gas and my electric and whatever, sometimes I will pay a week late just because it works out that way. It's like, I'm not getting paid. Everything else needs to be paid first or whatever. So I'll be a week late. And I mean, I don't even get notices for that shit. So,
right.
I mean, this must have been close to a month he was behind.
Oh yeah, to finally shut off. Yeah,
Yeah.
it had to have been rolling into a new billing cycle.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
because usually they'll roll over. They'll sometimes even, and I can't even think of the last time I would have. I mean, I know my cell phone. You can take your
Hmm.
cell phone bill and move up the due date on it. But
Sure.
I mean, you can move it up. If you
Yeah.
miss it, they'll be all the fuck over you.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I've had that happen before where I forget what it was. Same type of thing where I forgot. I thought I paid it.
Yeah.
Whatever
Right.
it was. And it was just so, I'm like, really? I'm like, fuck. Then I'm like, I just want to go now. I just want
Right.
to fucking go. But here's the thing. So this place has been fine. The bed is, the fucking dog next door every night about 12:30 or 1 in the morning.
Mm.
The dog next door barks and wakes me up. So yeah, that's been great.
Uh-huh.
But the bed, little uncomfortable. I explained all that. The rest of it's fine. It's calm. It's peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
My point of being here was going down to the New River Gorge, going to see
Right.
the things I did. So this place was just a place I was able to work. I mean, except for that, I mean,
Uh-huh.
that's kind of a big deal. The
Yeah.
power was not his fault.
Right.
That happens. But other than that, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it was fine. But I don't know. Just you get some little thing like that, then again. We talked about trust,
Yeah.
last week, and
Right.
so I just kind of felt uneasy. I'm like, well, I know the bill's paid now. At least I think it is, right?
Right. Yeah. At least some of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's been working, but I'm just like, I just want to get the fuck out of here. But it was nice. I mean, again, all in all, there was nothing wrong with that. Oh, but real quick, when I was down at the I think it was it was the last trail I went on. And 9 times out of 10, when I park my car, I mean, I just pull my car into a spot. I don't back in or anything like that any
Hmm.
place. And a lot of times when I'm coming back to my car, I'm coming back from wherever, and I'm coming up on the back of my car and get my car and go on.
Right.
So this time when I came off the trail, it was a loop and came around to where my car was parked. I was coming to the front of it, cutting across this area, and I'm walking up and I'm looking. It was on the passenger side front bumper, like right hand side.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck is like something's hanging on off the bottom of my car. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I thought again, shrub, tree,
Hmm.
whatever, stick hanging down. And I walk up and it's my entire turn signal assembly is hanging down.
Oh.
The entire thing. Just hanging off my bumper. So my turn signals are in my bumper,
Hmm.
passenger side front, and literally it's just hanging out. It's not hitting the ground, but it's
Yeah.
hanging. And I'm
Right.
like, what the fuck? So I look and I could see a little piece in there that broke, but I'm like, I didn't bump anything, didn't hit anything. I'm like a couple of these places, you drive and you bump around, and I'm like, I didn't hit anything, right?
Right.
So I couldn't figure it out. But I mean, thankfully, again, I carry around our books, I carry around some of the shit, so I've got packing tape.
Uh-huh.
So I put it back in there. It works.
Right.
It's didn't rip anything out, and just taped it. Fucking taped it in. So, but I gotta order one. I was like, I'll wait till I get back by Kathy's and order
Right.
one, and then I guess I can get someplace where I could just actually get under it and fix it.
Right.
But then I'm like, I don't know when the fuck it happened. Then it clicked. I was coming down, and I'm hoping. Not that it really matters, but I think it was because this would have been Sunday. I think it was Sunday when I was driving down there. Again, hour and a half drive. I'm on the highway behind somebody. Again, not right up on somebody's ass or anything like that. Two, three
Hmm.
car lengths. But again, what do you call the retreads that come off of the trucks?
Oh,
The
yeah, yeah. Gators.
Gators, there you go. So one of those. So this car ran over it, kicked it up, it came at me. I couldn't get out of the way, and
Right.
it hit the front of my car and underneath.
Hmm.
So I'm like, that's what did it.
Yep.
Because when it hit it, it probably pushed the bumper in just enough because there's a little piece that it clicks into. It
Hmm.
just snapped the piece, and I'm sure
Yep.
going wherever I did finally popped out.
Yeah.
But I don't know how long I was driving with it, like fucking hanging out.
Well,
But
at least you're in West Virginia, so you'll fit right in.
right, yeah, and I again driving down to grab my pizza tonight. I'm looking around. I'm like, yeah, this is fucking country hood. It really is. Again, not I don't feel it's unsafe or anything
Sure.
like that. It's not like I've been outside at night because I have hang outside at night, hit my vape or whatever, and you don't hear weird shit going on or no problems.
Right.
But it's fucking it's country hood. That's exactly what the fuck it is. But no, really, I had a nice time. It just yeah
Yeah.
that. I keep looking at my car. I mean, I get scrapes on my bumpers and shit like that. I'm driving up and down these fucking things. I'm like, whatever I get to the point either I'm going to run this fucking thing into the ground or which
Yep.
I've never done with a car. Never had a car
Hmm.
long enough to do that. Um, Usually, I mean, as a good alcoholic, I bought cars that were already run into the ground,
Right.
and I just kept them as long as they would run. But I don't know. It's one of those things. It kind of is what it is. But I still like the car. It runs.
Yep.
It just has a couple of shit falling off here and there. But yeah, you're right. I fit in. So, all right. So speaking of Marc Maron, did you listen to? I don't know who his newest one is, but there was two episodes. I think last Thursday and Monday. Um,
Uh-huh.
Keith Urban
Yeah.
and then Robert Patrick. Do you know who Robert Patrick is?
Yeah, Terminator.
Yeah, and I didn't. The name didn't click right away, but as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, I got to listen to this motherfucker. Did you
Cleveland guy.
listen? Yeah, when he was talking about that, I
Yeah.
didn't know that, or if I
Hmm.
knew that, I forgot it.
Yeah, and his brother's in that band, Filter. Right.
Yep. Yeah, he talked. I didn't fucking know that either. Because yeah, he was telling Mark at the end. He's like, yeah, man. He goes, you got to have my brother in here. He goes, you got to
Right.
have my brother in here. But did you listen to either one of those?
Nope.
Okay, so both of them are sober, which I also didn't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Robert Patrick, 28 years,
Hmm.
which fucking blew my mind.
Yeah.
But he got sober to film the Terminator because he knew
Ah,
he couldn't do the things he had to do, the physical
sure.
work that he had to do, doing what he was doing.
Right.
So they had a nice talk about that. Keith Urban has been sober for 18 years.
Huh.
No fucking idea, right?
Right.
And he's and I forgot he was married to Nicole
Oh
Kidman.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, he gets to fuck Nicole Kidman. So like, talk about promises, man.
But that reminded I well, because Mark brought it up when he was doing the promo for it that
Mm.
during COVID he had Nicole on and Keith was in the background helping her get shit set up.
Ah.
So he's like, hey, he goes, you're Keith Urban or some stupid shit like that.
Right.
But so yeah, so that's when he I guess met him. But I'm not a country guy. I know you sure as
Right.
fuck are not. Okay,
Nope.
but he didn't really talk. He talked about how he made it into who he was. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not really country based. In my opinion, it's kind of like if somebody didn't like Judas Priest, but they would enjoy the Rob Halford book, that type
Sure.
of mindset.
Right.
Same deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you would enjoy the conversation.
Right.
Him and Robert Patrick had a great fucking back and forth.
Hmm.
And Mark even said, he goes, he had nothing to promote. He just said, he goes, we met at fucking airport, saw each other at the airport.
Right.
And he wanted to come on. He goes, the only thing he wants me to talk about is the fact that he's a partner in a dealership, a Harley dealership.
Ah.
um, but yeah, Keith Urban it was great. It was
Hmm.
fucking great.
Right.
Both of them were. I was just kind of blown. I had no idea that both of them were sober.
Well, it
So
kind of goes back to our reading, man, being open to, right, learning new things, something that you might not think would interest you. And, say, some country dude and some guy that did a movie fucking 30 years ago that was kind of okay. Right.
yeah, so the one as soon as I saw and kind of clicked who Robert Patrick was, so he was on Sons of Anarchy, which I watched.
Okay.
He was in The Sopranos, played an excellent character in The Sopranos, which I know you haven't seen, but
Right.
and then the Terminator thing was cool enough in its day,
Uh-huh.
but The Sopranos, his character, and he talks about that, a little bit. A great character, fucking great character, but yeah, really, really, really interesting guy. And Keith Urban, I was just again. He interests the hell out of me. I was just
Right.
like, God damn, I'm sitting there listening to these guys. I'm like, these guys are fucking awesome. But
Right.
yeah, to your point, when I saw Keith Urban, I'm like, I don't need to listen to some fucking country, fucking hayseed motherfucker. But I'm like, oh
Right.
yeah, there you go. Open up
Mhm.
my mind, right?
Right.
But yeah, it was good. I think you'd enjoy both of them. So
Yeah, right. I mean, I saw both of those listed because I checked to see, who he's got. But seriously, I don't listen like I used to listen because
right.
work is different. It's not like I'm spending 8-9 hours a day just driving like I used to. So, yeah, I don't get to listen to podcasts the way I used to anymore. But yeah, if I get the option, I will check them out.
Yeah, and it's the same way with me. Is that I mean, I listen to most of these things. Like, I don't even do it all the time, but I'll listen to a podcast while I'm making dinner. And then
Right.
when I'm cleaning up, because I mean, I've actually had to wash fucking dishes for the past 5 weeks.
Uh-huh.
So I've got I've got time, making dinner and then cleaning up stuff
Right.
is in when I'm driving. But did you hear that Alex Van Halen's got a book out now called
Yeah.
Brothers? Yeah.
Hmm.
So and I've got that set up. I'm gonna get the Pacino book, but I thought my credit would re-up today on the first.
Hmm.
But it doesn't. But I read the review on the Alex Van Halen one. I think I'm going to
Yeah.
get that one first, and then get the Pacino one, the second one. But I heard it's supposed to be a good book. So,
Yeah. Right.
but it's on Audible, so I'm going to listen to that one next.
Hmm.
But anyhow, so the other thing that obviously speaking of again November and all that stuff, and the 11th step, it crossed my mind the other day about the 11th step, and I'll tell you why I would like to talk about it a little bit, give you your
Hmm.
opinion, but the more and more I was thinking about it as I was, kind of easing up to this month, and then even the readings today, is that
Right.
I feel sometimes that at least even to this day a little bit, it's probably the most confusing, or I don't even want to say confusing. I wrote down the word mysterious step
Mm.
when you first go through it, but even sometimes just in general, because it says this whole sought through prayer and medication, improve our
Medication.
conscious. Can I say medication?
You did.
I apologize. Okay,
That's old
see?
behavior. I used to I used to seek through medication. Didn't work very well.
Yes. Years ago, I sought through prayer and meditation. So let me start over, folks. See here, this is me being raw, being open. See, professionals might edit that out, but we're not going to. All right, sought through prayer and meditation
Yes.
to improve our conscious, Jesus
Our conscious
Christ,
conscious?
our conscious contact with God as we understand Him, of
Uh-huh.
course, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. So,
Right.
um, I don't know. I mean, I think I do that. It is. It just when I really try to think about it, it's kind of confusing. So how do you do that? It's like how do you do and work step 11? I mean, seriously, from your mindset, how do you look at that, or does it just happen?
I mean, right. Well, you got to remember, I'm not approaching it the way most drunks and junkies approach it,
Right.
because most of them, believe in something. Um, I've been watching a lot of Ricky Gervais, easy for me to say, clips online. Funny dude and smart. But anyway, yes. Coming at it as an atheist, yes, through prayer and meditation, which clearly we've talked about, this atheist prays twice a day because it's an action that they told me to take. So I take that action. Um, to improve my conscious contact with a power greater than myself. Um, I do. I take the time to consciously think about, power is greater than myself every day. Mostly, well, in the morning and at night. Pretty much when I'm taking that action of that thing that I don't think I need. Well, I know I need to, but yes, I think is. I almost said worthless, but of course it's not. It has worth because clearly it's doing something for me.
Right.
Um, yes, to improve my contact with it. I've talked about plenty of times. I mean, Alcoholics Anonymous is a power greater than myself. And so I do think about that. I do, which is a form of meditation. Um, I don't know. It's again, it's the same thing I do. I work the 11th step kind of the way I do my prayers and I do my meditations, my readings. I do them because they told me to do them, and I know I get some sort of benefit out of it. And kind of like the reading, I get more freedom and more choices by doing it, by putting thoughts in my head that aren't mine. Um, and that's how it works for me. I don't know. I mean, I work it because it's a step and I have to work it. I don't know. I don't know, and it doesn't matter that I know. I don't need to know. I just need to do it.
Right.
I don't need to feel it in my heart. I don't need to believe it with all my soul. I just need to fucking do it, and I do it. And I guess it does. Yeah. Well, I know it works. Um, and because it works, I guess it does give me more understanding. But it's a slow process, and it's a process that's going to have to happen forever. And yeah, I mean that's it. I work the step because it's a step that I need to work, and I don't know why, and it doesn't matter that I know or don't know. It's just I do it. And
Right. And you
because
know
I
what?
do it, it fucking works. I get the results, whatever they happen to be, and I don't even understand those.
And honestly, and I wasn't really literally when I was reading this, I wasn't thinking so much about the fact that, you as an atheist and me at best agnostic. I
Right?
wasn't really thinking about it that way again until I started reading the words because what I did
Mm,
copy and paste and put it on there so I could because I don't always remember these things
right.
word for word, which again that is what it is. But as I'm doing that, I'm like, again, prayer and medication.
Right.
Then I'm like conscious. I'm like, oh the fuck, what's wrong with you? But same thing. God, as
Keep
you
coming
understand
back.
Him, I know. Praying for knowledge of His will for us, blah blah blah. But that's what I just underlined as you were talking, is will for us and the power to carry that out. Because out of all of this bullshit words that are within those or that long sentence,
Hmm.
that run-on sentence,
Hmm.
that's the most important part. I mean, I think based on what you and I talk about, we realize that it's not our will,
Uh-huh.
something else's will,
Right.
and we are given whatever power to carry that out. I mean, is
Right.
that That's like the last part of it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
right. I mean, in a very practical sense, again, I always use Alcoholics Anonymous as a power greater than myself.
Right.
What is Alcoholics Anonymous's will for me? It's to stay sober, to help another drunk, to do, again, yeah. So, I mean, it works. Again, in the context of me being an atheist, it fucking still works if I work it. Imagine that.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, it, it, it's written out. It's the way it is. Work the fucking step, and you get the results, even
Right.
if it's not the conventional way or even the intent of it or whatever. It is the intent of it. It works no matter what your power greater than yourself is, whatever your higher power or whatever, your God, your fucking whatever it is. It works if you work it.
And you're worth it. Yay.
Yay.
Let's hug.
Ah.
But yeah, but even the first part of it, so prayer and we both talked about it. We both do prayers,
Mhm.
our own set of and our
Right.
process of
Mhm.
whatever they are, doesn't fucking matter. They're ours.
Right. Yep.
And then the meditation part, we figured out that if worst case scenario, neither one of us sit down again, candles cross-legged, the whole
Right.
shit. But we both take time in the morning to do the reading, to roll other
Mhm.
people's good thoughts around in our heads.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite sayings of yours, making our little corner of the world a better place and
Yep.
rolling somebody else's good thoughts around in my head.
Mhm.
When you first said that, and I don't know if that was on here or you probably said it long before
Oh,
that,
I
but
mean, I used to use it in group. Yeah.
did you? Okay, I couldn't
Yeah.
remember. But whenever you said it, I've loved it from the start because
Mm.
it is literally what it is.
Yeah.
I am. It's somebody else's. I sit down every fucking morning,
Yep.
regardless of, we've talked about this. Doesn't matter where we are, who we're with, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
How tired we are, or when I did mine 2 weeks ago, and literally at 2 in the morning,
Right.
I was up
Yep.
again. Here's a side note on that. Okay, so when I wanted to leave, I'm like, I want to leave by 3 a.m. Okay,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I'm not getting up. I'm not doing my normal routine. It's not going to
Right.
take me fucking 2.5 or 3 hours to get out of here.
Mhm.
I had all my shit packed up, a certain amount of time to do that. But I'm like, I said, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, technically, I only slept for, this is how I'm rationalizing myself before I try to go to bed. Right.
Right.
I'm like, basically, I'm just taking a long nap. So it's really not
Uh-huh.
the next day yet. So I think what I'm going to do
Sure.
is I'm going to get up and I'm going to drive. And then at like 8 or 9
Mm.
o'clock, maybe 7 or 8, I'm going to stop and I'm going to do my readings and my prayers.
Mhm.
And then within like, literally, I brush my teeth. I'm like, that's fucked up. I can't do
Yep.
that
That's
because
not going to work.
I'm out in the world. I have to deal
Yeah.
with people.
Yep.
Whether I took a short, a long nap or whatever it is, I'm
Mhm.
like, I, I'm doing my readings at fucking 2 in the morning is when
Yep.
I'm doing them,
Yeah.
and that's what I did. But it was so fucking funny in my head because I got laughing about it. I'm like that's fucked up in a good way.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't leave and actually do human being things
Exactly.
like drive a car and be out in the world.
Mhm.
Even though nobody else is fucking out, I'm like, I can't do
Eh,
this until I
you
get
never
my
know,
shit
right?
right.
I mean, you get right. At 4 in the morning, you may have to go into a gas station to take a piss and grab a
And
cup of coffee, and
yeah,
you're going to interact with the person behind the counter. And if you haven't done your shit yet, it's not going to go well.
yeah, and I
It might, but it might not.
yeah, and I did all those things. 2-3 hours into the trip, I stopped,
Hmm.
and it's exactly
Sure.
what you said.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing though. So back to that is I had to get these, like we talk about. That's my form. If anything, I don't meditate, but that's my form, and I
Hmm.
think you've kind of said the same thing, almost
Yeah.
like your form of meditation.
Yep.
So we do that every day, and then all that we need to know beyond that is that last part. Something or somebody else's will for us, somebody,
Yeah.
something, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And we
Not
need to
ours.
realize, yeah, it's not ours,
Yep.
and we're asking for the strength and the power to carry that shit out daily. That's
Yep.
it. So literally, it's just the more I thought about it, it was as we were talking. That's why I wanted to talk about it because
Hmm.
I tried to throw a little bit of sense behind the 11th step the other day when I started thinking about it. I'm like, I can't.
Hmm.
Let's just talk about it then. So I'm
Right.
like, I don't know. I don't know how I did this fucking 14 and a half years ago because
Uh-huh.
I don't get it now. I don't
Right.
understand it. But to your
Mm.
point, we don't have to.
Right. Yeah. Acceptance, man. Surrender to the fact that I don't fucking know and I don't fucking care. Right. It's beautiful. Just
Yeah.
doesn't matter, as the great Bill Murray screamed in Meatballs.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter.
That movie was so stupid but so wonderful.
Yep.
So fucking wonderful. I saw that when we were in God, were we in oh yeah, shit, we were in Pittsburgh. Our
Hmm.
neighbors across the street had would HBO had been out in the early
Sure.
80s.
Yeah.
Okay. He said I think that's what it was. His parents had HBO and I
Uh-huh.
remember sitting in his living room and watching it.
Hmm.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter.
Right.
It just doesn't matter. Fucking great.
Yep.
Just fucking great.
That is my mantra.
But yeah, I mean, so I mean, seriously, I mean, I know I always say, I don't know, maybe I don't, but maybe I should say thank you more. But thank you for actually helping me talk through this with myself. I don't know if anyone else got anything out of that, but
Eh.
that actually helped me getting this. I seriously, the 11th step never
Hmm.
really. If I tried to think about it, which I did, couldn't
Hmm.
figure it out. But now I get it. I actually underlined a couple of things on here. I'm like, oh, prayer, meditation,
Yep.
will carry it
Good.
out. Ugh. I'm smart now.
Right. You have at least one more choice today.
Right, right. All right. So this one is from Keep It Simple, and I got a note on here. This made me nervous.
All right.
I'll list any lies I've been telling myself and others lately. So now you can see why it made me nervous when I read it because well,
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. What do you think about that, my friend Mike?
List any lies I've told myself or others lately.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
from. It was from Keep It. It was from Keep It Simple.
hmm. Um, like within the last couple of days, because
No, probably. I don't know when that was. Just a month ago, maybe. If
okay,
I had to guess.
right, all right. I it kind of seems like because that's one of the ones I read. Yeah, I probably blew past it because guess what? I really don't lie to myself, and I sure as hell don't lie to anybody else today. The danger is I'm going to lie to myself and believe it. I really don't lie to other people because I don't have to today, which is nice. One of those freedoms and one of those choices I have today, but I don't have to lie to anyone else today. Um, yeah, the danger is lying to myself and believing it because I did that for so long that it's pretty fucking easy to do. Even after 14 and a half years, I can lie to myself and believe it today. Um, but yeah, I'm not lying to myself today either, which is nice. I'm really not. I'm pretty sure. I mean, maybe I am, and I'm believing it. And yeah, again, there is that possibility, but I don't think I am. I'm pretty sure that I live in a very real place today. I don't have to lie to myself, and because I don't have to lie to others, and it's nice. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and the reason I know the reason it made me nervous was thinking about thinking back,
Mm,
to
right.
all the times I did lie. It's like one of those
Mm-hmm.
things where you I don't know when we talk about stories on here, or we tell hear stories from other people, and or you get in these whatever circumstances that that make you uncomfortable and things that
Mm-hmm.
kind of make you feel sick to your stomach hearing or remembering the things we did.
Right.
It was that same type of thing. That's the reason it made me nervous because I was like, first of all, I remember trying to, I mean, this web, I mean, you tell one
Mm-hmm.
or one lie turns into, four turns into seven, turns
Sure.
into, God, what did I tell these people?
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell this person that thing? What's the truth anymore? I don't know what to
Right.
say,
Yeah.
which is, it's again, it's so much fucking work. It's so much
Mm.
easier, the easier, softer way,
Yep.
tell the truth.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I still have the inclination, especially if shit went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to, tell a story rather than
Sure.
admit
Yeah.
fault.
Take the
Um,
blame. Sure.
I fucking hate being wrong. I
I
fucking
know.
hate it. I don't like being wrong. I don't. Well, it's the same thing. Why we try not to fuck with people these days because we don't
Mm-hmm.
want to apologize to
That's
anyone.
right.
It's a kind of a fucked up backwards motivation, but
Yeah.
it works. It
It
doesn't matter.
works. Right. Yeah.
Whatever gets us there.
Keeps me honest and it keeps my side of the street clean because I don't want to fucking have to clean it up, man. Yep.
Well, the funny part too, and this is, I wonder if this was within a couple of days because I got another one from Keep It Simple that says, an excuse is worse and more terrible than a lie.
Mm.
So these were both from Keep It Simple, and again, I don't know when these was. When these, Jesus
Wow.
Christ, what the fuck? Maybe
You sure?
I think
Are
I'm
you
tired.
stroking out?
You know what? No, let me pull my pants up. Now I'm good.
Ah. I didn't say
But
off. I said out.
sorry. I'll pull my pants back down. But no, I think maybe I'm just fucking tired.
Sure.
It has been a long week, but I don't know.
Hmm.
But it's I maybe a month ago. I have no idea when I
Okay,
wrote
but
these
an
down, but
excuse is worse than a lie.
yeah, excuse is worse and more terrible than a lie. I wrote that down.
More
Wrote that.
damaging, and yeah, to
Yeah.
us and others. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely, man. Again, taking the blame, taking responsibility, accepting reality. Yes, it's far more making an excuse. Fuck that, man. Even if it's even if there's truth in that excuse, it's still worse because yeah, it's no, I did this. This is what I did. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Moving on. I'm gonna try not to do it again. It's way easier. No, well, it was because of this, and it was, the wind was blowing, and how could I help that? Because I have no control over the wind. That's why I was a complete fucking asshole. No, I was a complete fucking asshole. I'm going to try not to do that again.
Right. And it is, I mean, when we're apologizing, we're saying sorry, not us. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it is the way you say it too, right? Because we're like,
Oh, yeah.
well, fine then. Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry, whatever, man. Okay,
Sorry
fine.
I
Then
offended you.
yeah, no, sorry, you're offended.
Mm-hmm.
That's the non-apology.
Right.
Yeah, again, they talk about that. They look for that in stories when these fucking celebrities make
Mm-hmm.
mistakes or fuck up or do whatever, and
Right.
then say some shit, and then usually their apology that is obviously written by their publicist.
Mm-hmm.
It's it wasn't my intention to offend anyone with these words, blah blah blah,
Right.
and they're always like, that's not an apology.
It's not.
And it's not. It is absolutely not. I'm sorry you didn't like my bullshit.
Right.
I'm not sorry I said it. I'm sorry that you
Mm-hmm.
didn't like it.
Yeah. I'm sorry that you called me on it, and I'm sorry that you're making me do this.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, like whoever that chick was that did the national anthem and had to go to rehab.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry I was drunk and had to go to rehab, but
Mm-hmm.
hey, this is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Oh boy. All right, let's see another one I had here. I have no idea what this is from. Do you feel that you have okay, no label on this. I don't know if it came from a reading or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that you have true tolerance and understanding?
Fuck no.
Deep thoughts from Mike.
Oh, absolutely not. Am I more tolerant and more understanding than I was 15 years ago? Yeah, probably a little bit. But no, and honestly, um, because I am sober, because I don't deal in bullshit anymore, I'm probably in some ways less tolerant and less understanding. Well, no, not less understanding, less tolerant. More understanding, absolutely. And because of that understanding, less tolerant.
Right. Yeah, and that's and we've talked about that before, the again the bullshit meter, or not wanting
Yep.
to, not even a bullshit meter, not even being able to pick it out. I mean, well, that's one thing,
Not
but
being able to tolerate it.
yeah, and just having no desire. And that's the
Mm,
thing too, we've talked about it. I don't know, it's not that I have no there's so many people out there that in it I don't know if it bothers me. It just I kind of shake my head at it sometimes when I see
mm,
all these sober people on social media that alcohol is this and it's the. I mean, yes, I get it, okay, but it don't hate those people, and
right.
that's kind of what some of these posts are. And we've talked
Hmm.
about that. I mean, if people can go
Oh
out
yeah,
and do it,
alcohol is poison, and alcohol is so unhealthy, and blah 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 blah. So it's fucking cheeseburgers, and they're goddamn delicious. Right. I mean, and again, we've talked about it on here, man. The big book talks about we're not supposed to fucking be anti-alcohol.
Right.
I mean, those guys, Bill and Bob, I mean, they did the worst when alcohol was illegal in this country. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. They knew the the folly of prohibition. whether it's drugs or alcohol or gambling or whatever, man. You know, the government saying you can't do something does not fucking stop you from doing it.
Right. And that's the whole thing. I mean, I don't have any issue with the people that are out there, going out and partying and clubbing
Nah,
it and doing all the different stuff. I don't want to be around it though. It's not because
no,
I have a problem with them.
no,
I just don't I can't be around that too much
it's
because
fucking boring.
yeah, it's boring, and I don't want to. Again, it is a lack of tolerance. I'm like, I don't
Mhm.
know. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not that person anymore. I'm not out there, woohoo.
yeah, right.
Got a couple of beer, no, not even a couple. I got a couple of half cases of beer in me.
Mhm.
I want to be out there woohooing and stuff, and I'm like,
Right.
no, I think I'm
Yeah.
no, this is not as fun. But you're right. It is. It's a matter of, um, yeah. I mean, the lack of tolerance based on understanding. I like that.
Yep.
I do like that.
I understand far more than I did, and I don't tolerate anywhere near as much as I used to.
Right. But yeah, the other thing too is just that it's almost, I don't know, part of it's a tolerance in those situations. And it just, I mean, like you said, it's boring. I don't feel like I have a place there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not all fired up. If I didn't want to play games, the minute I walked in the door, I'm probably not going to want to play games an hour later when everyone's up and, you get all fired up and people want to
Yeah.
play whatever games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, I don't have that. I don't have that. The extra fuel in me that everyone else
Mm.
has, and it's cool, man. We've
Right.
talked about it plenty of times. You and I had a lot of fucking fun,
Absolutely.
and not together because we didn't know each other then,
Right.
but individually, wonderful fucking time
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of years.
Right.
Doing a lot of different things.
Yep.
And I mean, yeah, when it was not fun anymore, it was fucking horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get us wrong with that part.
Yeah,
Um, you
absolutely.
know,
Yeah, well, the balance of the fucking universe, man. You can't be that high without getting that low. You're
right.
gonna, if you get up that high, you're gonna be fucking just as low. It's just the way. That's why I like living in the middle today. I don't want to be that high. I sure as fuck don't want to be that low. I like being right in here where the sweet spot.
Right. Well, and that's why I said it's just with me with literally like I said these little fucking mood swings that I have. I mean, sometimes it's I don't know. I mean, work can be work. We all have, like you said, you had a hell of a day on Wednesday, and
Mm-hmm.
man, this month was so fucking slow. And again, it all goes back to the fear thing because I was I got to fucking tell you this. This is everything fear based. It's for me now with the work thing. It's a matter of pride, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But the other part is that really what it comes down to is I just I there's a certain amount of money that I need to make and want to make
Right.
um, in order to do these things like I'm out here doing now,
Right.
and I don't want anything to fuck with my groove,
Yeah.
and so it is. If things aren't flowing, I want to be the first one to blame, and I do know what part of it was that was this is factual is the type of business I got are one of our main like one of the big wigs. God, don't even know what her title is. She's really fucking cool, but
Mm-hmm.
she's the manager of my managers.
Sure.
Okay. But one of the most down to earth and coolest people. Never met her in person, but she's fucking wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But she's the one that spreads out the business for all of us.
Right.
Okay, like the new business.
Uh-huh.
And while she was gone for like 10 days, and
Mm-hmm.
this other team, which again they're good people,
Sure.
but this other team was doing it, and we have these. So there's in our business, first placements, newer stuff. Second placements, it means it went through somebody else, then came to us.
Right.
Not so new stuff. So, usually tends to be less collectible, sometimes less information on it, blah, blah, blah. But there's two individual clients where we're getting a lot of these second placements from, where if you hit them, I mean, bigger commission rate, all that stuff. But
Sure.
the recovery percentage is like, 5 to 10%, where some of the
Uh-huh.
other ones is 20 to 25%. Huge
Right.
difference.
Right.
So, literally, I was getting fucking loaded up on all these second placements. And she was gone towards like the first 2 weeks of the month, and that's key.
Uh-huh.
Because whatever you do in the first 2 weeks of the month is going to pay off in your last 2 weeks of the month. It's just
Uh-huh.
how the process works,
Yeah. Right.
And I'm getting all these fucking second placements. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm telling my manager, Chris, I'm like, first of all, I'm not getting any business. I'm like, what I'm getting I said, it's all these fucking seconds. And he's like, oh, I'll talk to them, blah, blah, blah. So I get overloaded on this. So that part of that's facts. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, I'm sure, was dealing with it. But
Right.
the other part is I just want to fucking blame everyone. I'm like, I'm doing work every day. Why are people paying
Right.
me? Blah, 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 blah. But so all said and done, I collected way less than my goal was. But I had to hit this one tier, which is 15,000, in order to get this extra bonus of $250. And I mean, that's a big deal,
Yeah.
getting to this point, extra couple of few $100.
Right.
Fucking the last like 2-3 days of the month, I'm crushing it. I mean, I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. I'm going to hit that piece plus get a little bit more. Not my goal. Blah blah blah. So basically, it's like the last half of the day, right? And and I'm like $133 short of this 15 grand.
Uh
Okay, and I mean that's about percentage wise, that's about an $1,100 payment.
huh.
And I'm fucking digging through everything I got, and I'm like, it's 3 o'clock, it's 3:30, it's four
Mm-hmm.
o'clock. I'm like, fuck. There's these two individuals that were supposed to pay, and I'm trying to get them obviously get these payments done. That would have been like $2,500. So this payment comes through, and I am not fucking shitting you, at 4:43, okay, on Thursday, for $1,250 at the commission rate. It put me literally $20 over
Nice.
the 15 grand.
Yep.
And the only thing though, today we came in, she's like, "Oh, numbers aren't final." Again, the lady that I'm talking about,
Mm-hmm.
she's like, "But when I looked at the piece that I can look at, it has me at $15,020 and like 37 cents in fee." Which again, that doesn't matter whether it's 1 or 20 or whatever. I'm like,
Right.
Jesus
It's
fucking
over.
Christ.
Yep.
But here's the thing, I can only be mad at, I can take all these factors in play,
Uh-huh.
but when it comes down to it, I've got to look back at what I do on a daily basis. And
Yep.
I can't look back at any day. I could say, oh, my fucking power went out. I took a day off on the 11th. That's 12 hours of time. No, 11 hours of time right there. Ooh, maybe that had to do with it. That shouldn't affect anything, right? So I'm like, okay, it just is what it is. I'm not going to go fucking broke, you know.
Right.
Um, it kind of is what it is. But I'm like, I need to keep doing what I'm doing, make sure I'm working everything effectively. But in those cases, I want to fucking blame somebody.
Of course.
I want to make up a story. I want to blame
Mm-hmm.
people. I want to yell. Because then, of course, then my manager, so, hey, maybe payments coming in, how things go in the last couple of days. And I'm just like, I know it's slow. And he's like, well, try this and that. Then he's telling me, oh, do this and do that. I'm like, you know what? I get it. But I said, right now, I'm really frustrated. I'm just trying to do what I'm doing. Because I'm trying to just, in my head, I'm like, I don't want to tell him just fuck off and leave me alone.
Right.
Because I'm not going to do that. But you know how it is. If you're, well, you said when I was out there that week, you had a bad day and you said you just better off being by yourself,
Mm-hmm.
whatever day that was.
Right.
And I'm the same type of thing. If
Right.
shit's going weird, I want to focus. I want to look at my computer and I just want to keep doing my work.
Right.
Fucking work, work, work. I know
Mm-hmm.
where I'm at. I'm not fucking stupid.
Right.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
need that. Hey,
Right.
look at your numbers lately. How you doing? Hey, big payments coming in. Poke, poke, poke.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, am I a fucking idiot?
Uh-huh.
I mean, again, that's all fear. I know where I'm at, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. That's back to the point of just or I could easily let all these, and I'm going to big fucking air quotes, stresses
Uh-huh.
fuck me up. And I just refuse to. I just got to, every once in a while, I just got to be by myself, take a deep breath and just keep doing it.
Yep.
That's it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Because, the blaming is fucking pointless.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, what it's not going to do any good for me to tell my boss to fucking leave me alone,
Right.
I mean, I was just honest with him though. I said, I get it. I said, I'm really frustrated right now. I'm just continuing to do what I'm doing type of thing
Mm-hmm.
nicely. Cause these are all in messages too. So you
Sure.
got to be careful how you're typing shit, right?
Right.
But one last thing I can tell you about him. My manager's fucking cool. I love him to death as an individual, and he's a
Mhm.
great manager. So we get on this our weekly meeting, and he had a hoodie on today,
Mm-hmm.
and he pops on the screen. There was like 3 or 4 other people on there, and I said, nice hoodie. He's like, thank you, and I said, does your how did I put that? I said, oh, your wife lets you wear that? Lets you wear her hoodie?
Uh-huh.
And he's like, what? He's like, this is my wife's, this is mine. I said, I'm messing with you. I said, all these women, always say that a guy's hoodie is theirs and this and that. I said, I was throwing that back on you like you took your wife's hoodie. That's all. I wasn't calling him feminine, right? So this is it. This is at night. Our 9:45 meeting is a company, and he's like, no, this night he goes. Plus he goes, her hoodies. He's telling me how they're tapered. He's like, never be able to fit into them. He's going in his long fucking thing. So we had call reviews with it was me, him, this other like 2 other people on there. So I was on, and then one other person came on. This guy James was very cool. So he and I are shooting the shit back and forth a little bit. Then Chris comes on, who's our manager, and they're like, "Hey, Chris, how you doing?" And James kind of fucking around. He's like, "Shh, we were talking about him, blah blah blah." And Chris, my manager, he's like, oh, by the way, he said, he goes, I've been asking people. He goes, everyone likes a sweatshirt. He goes, I don't see what you meant about what you meant about whatever. And I start laughing. I'm like, I was just messing with you. And James is like, what are you talking about? So I explained it to him. So he's laughing,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, no, he goes, I'm asking everyone. They're like, they like it. Look at this stuff or whatever. And I said, I didn't realize how easy it was to get in your head. I said,
Right.
I said, I'm never going to forget that now.
Uh-huh.
Because I made him fucking self-conscious making a joke out of it, basically saying, huh, like I said to you that one year, I'm like, does that come in a men's, whatever the fuck you were wearing?
Right.
Again, had nothing to do with anything, but all right, man. Let me see what I got more stuff. You want to keep going? I
You
don't.
know, I don't.
I don't either. That was complete and utter sarcasm.
Uh-huh.
So, guess what? It's your turn.
All right, cool. Well, thank you everyone for listening to another episode of Sober Not Mature. We're truly grateful that you're out there listening to us. How's that for the gratitude month crap? All right. And yes, always be kind to each other, be good to each other, go out and do something nice for somebody else this week, and don't tell anybody you did it. Now, from the bottom of my heart to the depths of my soul, from the beginning of time till the ends of the earth, always and eternally, fuck you. And now it's time, kids. It's time for you to fuck off. Then keep fucking off. Keep fucking off till you get to that gate with a sign on it saying you cannot fuck off past here. Climb over that gate. Dream the impossible dream and keep fucking off forever.
I was just lightly giggling over here because again, I love the differences at the end there. It does it makes me laugh. Oh, one last thing. So yeah, I booked a trip up in Wisconsin for the
Ah,
16th through the 23rd
uh-huh.
because we're trying to figure out to get together with the kids because Kimmy's birthday is on the 11th. Derek was on the 12th of October and he was gone. So we were going to do like a get together.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, Dawn wanted to get together with all of us, blah, blah, blah. So all said and done, we're going to get together at Dawn's house on the 17th, which is a Sunday. I'm
Nice.
like, well, it'd be nice to be able to, well, what the fuck, be up in Wisconsin for a week, this and that.
Uh-huh.
So I found a place in Two Rivers, which is along like Lake Michigan, a few blocks off Lake Michigan. Got a decent deal on it, a little bit more than what I would normally want to spend, but it's still like an hour and a half away from Germantown. But
Uh-huh.
it's an hour and a half of Wisconsin driving versus
Right.
driving around fucking Chicago.
Yep.
So I'm like, yeah, fuck it. So I'm gonna go up there for a week, and yeah,
Cool.
got that all set up. But Thanksgiving. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. You did not make Thanksgiving last year. I actually had to look back, and yeah, I remember I think you were sick last year,
I believe I was. Yep.
ill with a cold. I mean, you're sick
Yeah.
every day, but
He's sick, all right. What's wrong with you now, Prince Charming?
yeah. So yeah, we'll have to figure that out. I have no idea what's going on with the kids or what they're doing or anything like
Right.
that. But I don't know. That's coming up quickly. I mean, shit. Before we know it, a few weeks. So,
Yep, exactly. Well, it's a bit later this year, so yeah, right. End of the month, we'll figure it out.
yeah, we'll do our probably our gratitude episode that Friday. I would think, right?
I would think so.
All right. Well, you know what? On that note, I think we're done,
Yep,
and I'll talk to you soon.
you will.
I love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
All right. Bye.
Bye. And now it is time for you to fuck off. Then keep fucking off. Keep fucking off until you get to a gate with a sign on it saying you cannot fuck off past here. Climb over that gate, dream the impossible dream, and keep fucking off forever.